ain't afraid no more. I'm not afraid to say. And if the words are clear, I know that I can say. Busting out the rules that they control. Busting out a love there in my soul. Busting out a dream that won't be sold. I said no to busting fear. Busting fear. Busting fear. Busting fear.
As always, thank you, Bobby Lee, for that wonderful introduction again. I so appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to another episode of Busting Fear. We have lots of things we could talk about. And so Sue and I had a conversation today, and she has some things on her mind that she would like to share tonight. So we're going to turn it over to her and let her run.
Oh, okay. So, hello everybody out there. Yeah, I have had on my mind, I've been contemplating with it, and it's belief structures. And here on Busting Fear and in my own personal life, it's been coming up really kind of powerful. And, you know, here at the earth and the people, you know, we all have within us, you know, programs, if you want to say, or belief structures, some really emotional ones. And, you know, I'm thinking about where we are in the world right now, and there's so much transformation that is happening in my own life, and, you know, in other people's lives, and in our country, in our world. It's just happening everywhere. Families, medicine, education, all of this. And so, you know, one of the things that that has come to my mind in thinking about belief structures is around the area of I just lost my train of thought because I saw somebody out there. Around the area of things that we hold in our society, and whether it be war, whether it be medicine, whether it be our education. And, you know, we hold dear a lot of these, and I think in some sense we should, but yet at the same time, I'm not so certain they should take our power away from us, or I should better say that we allow them to take our power from us. And there's so much fear that's going out into the world, you know, and again, we've discussed on this show on shots and our government and all of these ways that, you know, we can see that our self of empowerment is shrinking, and we're having to get offered over to the powers that be. And I think we have a choice in that, but it also, again, is cultivating some deeper understanding of what runs us and our own core beliefs. And then, of course, I'm having to look at my own. And one of the things that I have been thinking about is this whole idea that, you know, here we talk about transformation. And in the transformation, people talk about, you know, again, seeing the future, and the future is with space, with, you know, going out there, and spacesuits and spaceships, and you know, and I'm like, well, we're here on planet Earth, and I kind of like, where's the vision of what Earth is going to look like through her transformation? And we're her children, and you know, what is transformation on the on Earth going to look like? And so, you know, I in contemplating this, I'm not a real thrilled. I have nothing against space. I love space. But as a way to say, oh, you know, I see the future and the high tech, and we're going to have spaceships, and, you know, we're going to leave planet. You know, I listen to Coast to Coast, and, you know, they have reputable people that, you know, say things like, hey, you know, if a meteor comes or other space material, that's okay, we'll just shoot it down. And, you know, it again brings to my mind going, that's kind of ludicrous to me. Where do you think that you have the capability? I don't think we have the capability, you know, but again, this whole idea of, again, what runs us? What do we believe? And, you know, and I think for me, I don't know about you, Carol, but, you know, I would love to envision, I guess you could say in the biblical sense, and I'm not necessarily, you know, religious, I'm spiritual, but is that heaven on earth? And how are we going to create it? Hold our spaciousness, which I think is part of why we are so curious about space, you know, because it seems like the great thing to do when we're here in physical bodies and we're dealing with our problems. And of course, right now we have lots of them. And then that's where the transformation. And so it also has taken me to this area of my own beliefs. And one belief that I have a hard time shaking and I've been doing the spiritual journey for a long time, is this whole idea of my own unworthiness and
Yes.
limiting myself and saying, oh, I can't this and I can't that. Being again on this show is for me to go beyond it. So I was contemplating this, and it's like when things get tough, when the world gets tough, and my world has been tough with my husband's illness and other things, and being, you know, shoved into retirement, and our income is a lot less. And so anyway, with all of these problems, and I realize with all of these problems, I always revert back into all of that scary place, the lowest denominator. And for me, it's on the one hand, there's the fear, and within the fear, I end up going back to that place, and I'm always fighting. There's this internal struggle of like, I know better.
Why do you think you always go back to that place? It's like there's a program running.
Yeah.
And you know that's not the truth of who you are.
Yes, and I know that. And that's the thing, is why do I always go back to that? Well, it's interesting because this morning I was contemplating this, and this is kind of random. I had this experience, and again, it was cultivated because there is the part of me that knows. And I think part of it is putting myself out in the world in a certain way is scary. And that is...
Why is that scary?
I think from old patterns, old conditioning, you know, and when I say that, I don't mean just this life.
So no one is actually saying this to you. It's a program running in your mind that controls you, yes, and brings you back to that space.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that anybody's saying anything. It's what I do to myself. So instead of taking a position of power, and you know, I could only guess on some of it because I haven't necessarily walked through it, and that's the whole point here.
Wait. What is a position of power?
This is not having all those tapes. That's the position.
The tapes that play in your head that tell you're not worthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The position of power is that clarity, you know, just coming from the authentic self without all of the garbage.
Okay.
And you know, and I've been working on this a long time, and I was reading, I was online, and I came across Tom Kenyon. Actually, he sent a email basically that came in that was talking about what's going on the planet right now. And and he gives music. He does toning. and
Yes.
his toning is incredible.
Yes.
And but there was two of them, and one of them was this kind of de-stress you, and it's just letting all the negative energy go. And I can tell you, it worked really well. And then the other one was this just a nice, I don't even know, it brings in light into your cellular level. That's the intention, but it's nice. It's a
Is this
waterfall.
something you actually experience in your body?
You listen to it, and
You
of
listen.
course, yes, you listen. You
Okay.
experience it in your
Okay,
body.
all right.
If you're sensitive, you can feel that.
Okay.
Well, it was interesting this morning. I was listening to it, and I just felt like I'm going to go lay down and listen to it because I wasn't. I was doing things, and I was just listening to it. And I went in and laid down, and as I was laying there, of course, I can feel the energies, and I could feel a presence that came in. Don't know who the presence was, it doesn't really matter. And I feel down, like in the chakra point on the top of the foot, and I feel all of this energy, and I feel it's on the left side. And I could feel, again, like something was being stimulated there, like acupuncture. And
You mean you actually felt like something was like
On
messing
the
with your
top,
foot
yes,
energetically,
literally.
but you couldn't see anything?
No.
Okay.
No, which that's not rare to me. But anyway, I could
What?
feel the energy.
You feel stuff?
Yes, I feel stuff.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
I
people are messing
feel-
with your body at times?
So whatever.
I'm just asking
Well,
the
not
question.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Yes and
Okay,
no.
all right.
Not like I have all these unseen crowding around me. Okay. But yes, from time to time, I can feel helpers coming in to do whatever. So,
Oh, and if anybody out there has had Sue's similar experience of these
please,
non-physical seen beings messing with you, call us 360-693-7544. 360-693-7544 and share your experience because
Yeah.
I've never had this experience. I'm not sure I want to. But
oh wait, really?
I'm not sure I want
I was so grateful. It was like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
But and it was interesting because I took notice and I'm like, thank you, whatever. 'Cause I trust whatever they're doing is for my betterment. And so all of a sudden I feel this energy just shoot up my legs and into my heart chakra, and my heart chakra just if I didn't know that something was happening, I would have said my heart just flopped in my chest. But it
When you said you felt the
energy.
energy, what does it? Can you describe what that felt like? Was it a tingle? Was it a pressure? Was it a zzz?
Oh,
Can you
gosh.
describe it? See, I've never had this experience, so I can't
Really?
define it.
Gosh. It kind of, if you can imagine like a flow of energy, I would say, imagine water all of a sudden, but it doesn't feel like water.
Like your leg was just covered with this.
No, it
Force
was
field?
internal. It was internal.
Oh, okay.
It was
All right.
like, definitely within the chakra system. So it wasn't
Okay.
on the exterior of the leg. It was
Okay.
an energy inside. I'm sensitive enough so I can feel that kind of stuff. So, like you've had acupuncture, haven't you?
Yes, but
Have you ever had where they hit a point where all of a sudden the energy just
Oh,
runs
yes.
out throughout your
Oh,
body?
yes.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
it's similar to that.
Okay.
And so it's the same idea. And all of a sudden, like I said, it went up my leg and my heart chakra. Well, I come out and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. There was something that opened there. And I come out and I sat with Gary and I started dialoguing with Gary. And now I can't really recall what the exact conversation was. But all of a sudden, I have information about lifetimes where I was a woman. And I went to England in 1994. And during my trip in 1994, and we went to all these sacred sites and powerful sites. And I had a dream while I was there. And in the dream, I saw myself as a female in three lives. One, I was like a queen. Another one, I was like a beggar. And another one, I honestly can't remember, like average Joe Blow. But every one of them was put to their death.
We have
And,
3 viewers. We're going viral again. Woo!
And so, you know, I know that my path, my journey has been, you know, many times being in a physical body where it wasn't okay to be a woman.
Oh.
So, yeah. And so this is something I have carried and until today. Until today.
Remember, don't slap the table. Remember, the sound carries.
Yeah. Until this morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm just done with this. And this information, which I'm like right now, just going totally blank.
Well, if you notice, movies and TV shows are really allowing women to be in alpha roles and stepping into their power, being in charge, being intelligent, solving problems. I really appreciate
And it's our due
those
time.
kind of roles
Yeah.
to demonstrate that women can do it too. yeah.
Then information started coming in about these other lifetimes. This morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this was happening this morning, and I was like, oh, and I'm, for whatever reason, I'm totally blank right now. I could have given you the details. I don't know why I'm blank.
Like
I don't know.
specific incarnations that you
Yeah,
experienced.
well, it was more in the sense of, yeah, the information came in that where a lot of this arose was in times in my history on this journey was when I was in those periods of times when it was holy, you know, so that there was all of, not that I was holy, but the whole idea that what was propagated, what was women, what they experienced was they were not, it was not okay being in a physical body was not okay. It was unholy to be in a physical body. And that women were perceived as not holy, only men, you know? And so that's where the information I got is where a lot of that stood from, where that came from, was during those time periods where, I mean, even women now are not equal.
Right, they still have female mutilation.
Yeah, exactly. And a whole
Africa,
lot of other
I do
things.
believe. Yeah, Africa.
Well, even in our society as jobs, we are not paid equal. We're not seen homemakers, you know, Yeah,
Yeah, I love that commercial where they deliver, was it a floor product? I'm not going to name it. And it's this old couple, and he says, "I make dirt." And you see the woman, they're old, his wife using it and cleaning and the fan and everything, and he's sitting there making dirt.
Exactly. What does that say?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm thinking,
Well,
why
she's-
isn't he using this gizmo and let her make the
Exactly.
dirt?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. 4 viewers. We're up to 4. We're really going viral. Thank you.
Hi, sis.
360-693-7544. 693-7544.
Yeah.
This is a live call-in talk show, folks, so feel free to call in.
So anyway, so I get back to the belief structures. You know, there's this belief again in my own evolution that I'm like, you know, just be done with this, even no matter what the history. I mean, because of the history, if you want to say, you know, that's probably why it's been difficult for me to let go of it. But I mean, literally today, I'm like, and if you see it, you remind me. I'm giving you permission.
Well, I've always seen you as a leader. Always.
Well, I don't see
So,
myself as a leader.
that's-
I kind of retract from that. And
but see, you do it naturally, and I don't think you know that.
probably not because I have my tape
Yeah,
playing.
you have your virus running in your
Yeah, the
brain saying,
virus.
"Oh,
I
you're
love
not
that.
worthy." But regardless of that, you have always done the thing that needs to be attended to.
Yeah.
You've
yeah,
always, and you get it done.
Yeah.
You coordinate. You're a good coordinator.
Yeah, I can
You're
do
a good creation of events.
Yeah.
I mean, I've witnessed this.
Yeah.
So I know what you're actually manifesting is not what's running in your head.
Right.
So you really are in control
Of what?
far more than I think you
Yeah.
realize.
Yeah. Well, and I have been told that, and actually by your partner Mike, I said the same thing. Oh, thank you there, Mike. But now, yeah, that totally okay.
Yeah, they took you off the
Redirect.
path and
You just got me on that
I
one.
put you as, I said you're in control and
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
Fisher.
I know, but it's like, okay, let's step back. That just
Okay.
totally lost me. But I don't know. You're gonna have
So
to
you
pick
said
up
you're done with it.
I'm done
You're
with
done
it.
with that
I'm
virus
done
that's
with
been
it.
running in your head,
Yeah.
whether it's from what you perceive as past lives or in this current life.
Yeah.
So when
And it can
you-
be present lives. I mean, we
That's
have
right.
extensions.
Yes.
I'm not against that either.
So have you thought of who will I be when I am done with it, and what will that look like?
Yes, I have.
And how will that look different than, well, it won't look different to me, I don't think, but maybe it will. But I've always seen you in that position of power. So
You know what? When I see myself as, let's say, empowered, the empowerment just comes from the sense of just being. Let it be. Just allowing one's heart to be open and shine. It's not about, I don't see myself as like empowered. Oh, I'm going to have this job or I'm going to do that. I don't see it as that. I see a pouring of energy that's authentic and true to my nature. And I'm not certain what that'll look like. What I do know is when I allow myself to be, there is a lot of joy. And I have a lot of joy, and I keep it kind of this way. I can have fun.
you are
But it's
a bubbly
it's-
person.
Yeah.
You're
and
not a depressing person
No.
to be around.
No.
At all.
And it's it's about just allowing the authentic divine nature come forth, and it'll be perfect. When I don't call it, it's imperfect. But it's without all those tapes.
So perhaps you're
Yeah.
going to go into a space of void or neutralness and stop the judging.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would welcome that. I would so welcome that because I've been carrying this baggage for a long time. It's time to shed it. So it's time to shed it.
So is that your story or your journey?
The shedding.
No, the carrying the baggage for a long time. Is that your story
Oh,
or is
that's
that your
been
journey?
the story.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been the story.
How is that
That's been through the experience called life, and through the, repetitive experiences. This is interesting too, because I had another experience. This was over 20 years ago. And I dislike war. And this is where beliefs kind of come in too. And it's like, well, when Vietnam was going, I was young, but I can remember thinking, if I was a soldier, I would go to Canada too. And I was experiencing, I can't give a whole lot of detail because I don't even know exactly what happened, but I was with a friend and we were sharing, I don't know, an experience, and we got on to, I'm not even quite sure what we were talking about. But I had a vivid memory of what I would term a past life. And in the past life, I was a knight. And I've always taken this information as part of where I don't like war, where I made a commitment at that point in time. And I was a knight. I killed another knight. We were at war. There was a group of us. And I saw this as clear as you're sitting here in my mind's eye.
You were in the
And-
holodeck
Yeah,
having this
exactly.
experience, okay?
And so we went to pillage the bodies. And when I pulled off the helmet of the knight, it was a young boy.
Oh,
It was a young boy. And with
Oh.
that, I was like, no, it isn't worth it to me. I mean, it literally, I think, changed probably a belief structure in whatever space that took place, it changed something where I just went, it's not worth it. You know, and then it made sense after I realized that, you know, as a teenager, I'm like, you know, I wouldn't go to war. Why wouldn't I go to war? But I was like, there's no way. You can't make me, you know. I'd go to Canada because that was the big thing back then, you
yes.
know, is just to go to Canada. And so anyway, you know, what do you think about beliefs? How do they form your reality?
Well, I'm trying to shed beliefs, actually.
That
and
is the
trying to
goal.
have, as I said, my dogma is to have no dogma, and that in
Right.
itself is a dogma.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can get away, but it's really striving to be neutral and
Yeah.
not judging anything, but perceiving or coming to the awareness that that's an experience. Doesn't mean we have to get attached to it. I want to ask you something. Oh, before I ask you, one thing I have noticed that when you go into Canada, it's a very gentle, feminine energy. You come back into the United States and you feel the more harshness of the male energy. And so, fortunately,
That's interesting. I've
Canada's
never heard that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Canada is a much larger country than the United States. So I think it's a good thing that they have that big space to,
Huh.
because we have too much male aggression, obviously, here. In fact, I was reading in this article today about psychopaths, and they're saying Western culture is a more acceptable of people that go into careers that where psychopaths dominate. And I'm thinking, well, that's very interesting. That makes a lot of sense. And the thing I wanted to ask you about having this, and you did say it was a story, because I asked you if it was a journey or a story, about this feeling not worthy. How has that story served you, and how have you let it define you?
Well, for me, the thought of failure at something is terrifying to me.
Really?
And so the whole idea, to me, it keeps me in the back seat, so to speak, of, you know, instead of being accomplished, if I think I can't do something, I just won't do it.
Okay.
And that is how I pretty much have lived this life. That's why it was so important for me to do this, was to step beyond things that, you know, again, again, from an experience in a meditation, you know, I did see myself speaking, and, you know, so I think the backdrop of all of that in my own personal life, I think my even relationship with Gary, you know, he was so willing to do certain things. I stayed home in my comfortable little space. You know, I wasn't, you know, motherhood and parenting is not an easy job, but it was still safe than being out in the world and
Okay.
going to go do something and feeling like, oh no, you know, I won't do that. So like I said, the thought of failing and I guess you could say embarrassing myself, you know, was more scary than letting go of old baggage. So,
But you did have an environment where you were not really supported in your
No,
family
no,
life,
no.
where you were not encouraged to actually
Right,
express who you truly are.
No, we kind of
Were
were
you?
like the like dogfight.
Dogfight? Okay, explain to me dogfight in a family.
I mean, we kind of beat up on one another. I mean, and it was kind
Verbally
of like
or
literally,
physically?
well, not physically, but
Verbally.
emotionally. Yeah, verbally. I mean, you know, we had kind of nightly where we would get together as children, and my mom would sit there and, you know, it'd start off all great and fun, and then pretty soon somebody's attacking another one and attacking another one and attacking. We were always tearing each
Do you
other
know
apart.
what inspired that family dynamic of attacking? Do you know?
Well, I had a mom who, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that she had kind of a philosophy, not kinda, had the philosophy of live and let live, you know, kind of like, oh, you know, whatever, And so she didn't make hard rules when it came to us kids in the sense of how we treated one another. I mean, we were pretty mean to
She
one
didn't
another.
set any.
She didn't set boundaries.
Hey, we have
She-
5 viewers! Yay!
She did with with us children, with her or my father. You didn't, when she said to do something, you did it. But when it came to us kids, we kind of were, like I said, kind of a dog pile. We were.
So she didn't set up boundaries
No,
for
no.
the children.
No.
So perhaps she was unskilled because she didn't learn it from her parents.
I think that's exactly right. I think it was because I think she was pretty bullied from her sister, oldest sister.
Okay.
And I think my mom was the cute little innocent one, so she got her attention that way. And she had a sister that was pretty mean to her, So, therefore it set up this pattern. And, my mom would be sitting there and a lot of it she would be laughing. And then pretty soon, we'd be splitting up. This child's going this way. This one's running away. Two's running away. My mom's way of handling was, okay, watch this. I'm going to get in the car and go say I'm going to get ice cream.
Oh, so she'd give you a treat. She actually
So
rewarded
she
you.
rewarded the behavior. I was just going to say that. I actually never even really thought about that.
Isn't that
in that way.
an
Yeah.
interesting discovery
Yeah.
you just made?
Yeah.
So she was an enabler to
Yes.
reinforce the
Yes.
pattern of squabbling so you could get
Exactly.
a treat.
Exactly.
That's quite brilliant.
Exactly.
That's a way of not dealing with the issue.
That's a good insight.
Well, Sue,
That's a
I don't
really good insight.
I don't know if you realize
Uh-huh.
you have been chatting for almost a half hour.
I know.
And expressing yourself
Yeah, here I am doing this.
very well. So I have to applaud you.
I'll applaud me
Yeah.
too.
Isn't that wonderful that she's stepped out and taken this journey to
Yeah, here I am.
really express her thoughts and her ideas and her experience? And you're not the only one that's having these experiences, and so
I know.
what we say really helps others.
Yeah.
So is it time, Bobby, for you to take us out?
It's time if you tell me it's time.
Okay, well, Mike tells me it's time, so it's probably real close. Thank you all for watching.
I didn't want that to be.
I ain't afraid no more, I ain't afraid to say. And if the words are clear, I know that I can sing. Busting out the rules that they control, busting out a love that's in my soul, busting out the dream that won't be sold. I said no. Busting fear, busting fear, busting fear, busting fear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep on going, don't you?
and welcome to Brood, your local cafe and pub. Offering you a variety of services, we have beer, coffee, wine, and food. You can find us on Facebook at Brood360 and online at broodcafepub.com.